review, there's 3 branches of government. They're in charge of their own specific jobs. We talked about the legislative branch that makes the laws. Today, we're going to talk about the executive branch. The executive branch is the office of the presidency and the vice presidency and his cabinet. We're going to talk about today, first of all, eligibility requirements, what you have to be a president, how long you can be in office. We're going to talk about election day and inauguration day and what the difference is. We're also going to talk about impeachment, what it means to be impeached, and what an impeach is, to impeach a president. And then finally, we're going to talk about the powers of the president. What are the presidential powers exactly? So let's begin. So the first thing we're going to start with is eligibility requirements. Now, unlike the Senate and the House, a president must be a natural born citizen, which means that he or she must be born inside the U.S., having been born inside a part of a U.S. citizen. Also, the age requirements, a president has to be at least 35 years old in order to be a president. And if a president choose to leave the country, but then he decided or she decided to return, the president must be a resident of the U.S. for 14 consecutive years. That means that if someone moved to Canada and they lived there for however long, and then they decided to return home to the United States and they were already born in the United States, then if they wanted to be president, they'd have to wait for 14 consecutive years before they could run. So how many years is a term of office? A term of office for a president is 4 years. So a president runs for office, her term is 4 years. Then if they want to be reelected, the maximum number of terms elected is 2. So unlike the House and Senate, where they can run on unlimited terms, a president can only have a maximum of 2 terms that he or she is elected. And here's what's interesting. The maximum years in office is 10 years. What? What does that mean? You said you can only run for 2 terms of 4 years each, which equals 8. Well, that other 2 years in the 10 years maximum years of office is in the event that a president dies and the vice president becomes president and it's halfway through the term. Those 2 years don't count towards the maximum years in office or the terms in office because the vice president was not elected as a president. So that's why that little magic number of 10 versus 8 is different. All right, so let's talk about the date of Election Day. So the date of Election Day is the first Tuesday of every month. Of every November. So November. And the date of Inauguration Day is usually almost always January 20th. So of the following year. So whoever's elected president in November doesn't officially become inaugurated into president, into his seat of power until January 20 when their term begins. So the oath of office that someone takes when they become president says, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of president of the United States and will do my best will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the, guess what? Yep, you guessed it, Constitution of the United States. All right. Now let's talk about impeachment. What does it mean to impeach someone? So to impeach someone is to accuse a government official of committing a wrongdoing. So it doesn't just have to be the president. Any government official can be impeached. So what is the role of each of these, the House and the Senate? Well, the House will hold a vote. They will present a case and they will vote to impeach. If the House votes to impeach, which they did with Donald Trump, it moves to the Senate. And then the role of the Senate is not simply a vote. The Senate actually holds trial. And 2/3 are needed to find the president guilty. If there is not 2/3 of the majority of the Senate, then the impeachment does not stick. He's still considered impeached in the House, but not in the Senate. What are the 3 main reasons for impeachment? First one is bribery. The second one is high crimes. And the third one is misdemeanors. And now if you think these are really vague, you're right. They are. It's really difficult to kind of impeach someone based on bribery, high crimes, and misdemeanors. How do you define that? So that's why there's always such a struggle to impeach anyone, and it's very unlikely to happen often. So let's talk about the powers of the president. The president has presidential powers. And the first presidential power that we're going to type for the president is he is commander in chief of the military. So really, he or she may not have any military experience. It doesn't matter. If someone is president, they are commander in chief of the entire military. All right, the next of the presidential powers is that he or she meets with leaders of other countries. So they try and negotiate peace and deals and always kind of build relationships with other countries and presidents of other countries. Another important role of the president, which has been in the news of late, was a president gets to appoint the Supreme Court judges. So if a vacancy opens up on the Supreme Court, in which we'll learn a Supreme Court judge is a lifetime position, if a vacancy opens up, the president has the authority and the power to appoint a Supreme Court judge or justice. The president also is able to choose his or her own cabinet members. So whoever the president wants to choose to be part of his or her cabinet, whether it's House of Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, whatever the case may be, he or she can pick his own cabinet members. Remember, we talked about the legislators, once they approve a law. Now, before the law becomes an actual law, the president must sign the bill into law. If the president does not like the bill and the president vetoes the bill, then even if it passed the House and the Senate, the bill goes back to the House and Senate. It goes nowhere. So a president has the power to sign a bill or to veto it. And also, finally, the president has the power to make treaties, make alliances, make kind of friendships with other countries. However, and this is important, most actions must be approved by Congress. So we will see this as we kind of see that each power and each branch checks and balances each other to make sure that no one does anything or goes rogue without kind of the check-in of another branch of government. So that's it for the executive branch, and I will see you when we do the judicial branch. Don't forget, rewind, pause, stop, and repeat the video as often as you need to in order to complete your notes and turn them in. All right, bye-bye.